If you wait until you're arrested to hire a criminal defense lawyer, you may already be behind. Because criminal investigations usually start long before handcuffs ever show up. By the time prosecutors file charges, they may already have surveillance, phone records, social media posts, witness statements, and evidence gathered over months of investigation. In many cases, they got some of that evidence directly from the person they're investigating. A lot of times people are being investigated before they even realize it. Maybe detectives call and ask if you're willing to come talk. Maybe police are contacting your friends, family members, and coworkers asking questions about you. Sometimes people notice surveillance around them or hear they're being called a person of interest. And a lot of people convince themselves it's probably not a big deal. That's a mistake. By the time police contact you in a criminal investigation, there's a good chance they've already started building the case before you even knew you were being looked at. You cannot try to talk your way out of an arrest or investigation. People think that if they just explain themselves, everything will go away. That leads to the biggest mistakes I've seen clients make. And once you say something, you usually cannot take it back. That's why one of the most important rights you have is the right to remain silent. If law enforcement wants to question you, the safest thing you can say is, "I'm invoking my right to remain silent and I want my lawyer." That is not an admission of guilt, that is protecting yourself. Trying to talk your way out of a criminal investigation is one of the fastest ways to accidentally help prosecutors build a case against you. A lot of people ask me, why do I need a lawyer if I haven't even been arrested yet? And the answer is simple, because early intervention matters. A defense lawyer can sometimes communicate with investigators before charges are filed. We can gather evidence early while memories are fresh. We can preserve surveillance footage before it disappears. We can identify witnesses, and in some situations, getting involved early can help prevent charges from being filed in the first place. We can control the narrative. Once a case is formally charged, the momentum changes. Now prosecutors have publicly committed to the accusation. That's why the investigation stage can be one of the most important parts of the entire process. You've heard this one for a while, but social media is not your friend. Just because your profile is private does not mean it can't be used against you in court. This can be a big mistake when you're under investigation. I've seen clients vent and joke about the situation. They post photos, locations, messages, videos, thinking it's harmless. It's not. Social media gets subpoenaed all the time, and suddenly your meme is being viewed by a judge. Prosecutors love using posts to argue intent, credibility, timeline inconsistencies, associations, or state of mind. I've seen completely innocent posts become damaging simply because they were misunderstood or presented without context. If you believe you're under investigation, stay off social media completely. So remember, if you're under criminal investigation, social media is not your friend. Prosecutors may end up reading your posts in court before a jury. This is another critical one. Do not delete messages, do not destroy records, do not wipe phones or computers, do not tell other people to delete things either. Even if you think the information looks bad, destroying evidence can create entirely new criminal problems. In some cases, prosecutors may argue obstruction of justice or tampering with evidence. And sometimes the cover-up becomes more damaging than the original allegation itself. Now, if investigators show up with a search warrant, stay calm. Don't make the mistake of trying to refuse, push back, or physically interfere. You can ask to see the warrant, pay attention to what areas or items it specifically covers, and immediately contact your lawyer. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to explain things during the search. That won't help. Let your attorney handle communication whenever possible. And this is especially important in federal investigations involving agencies like the FBI, DEA, IRS, or Homeland Security. Federal investigators often spend months or even years building cases before anyone is arrested. So if a federal agent contacts you, do not assume you can clear things up with one conversation. So politely tell them that you're represented by counsel and direct communication should go through your attorney. That alone can prevent a lot of unnecessary damage. Federal investigators usually do not contact people at the beginning of a case. By the time they reach out, they may already have months of evidence. The biggest takeaway from this video is this: if you think you're being investigated, do not wait for handcuffs before taking the situation seriously. The investigation stage is where cases are often built, and sometimes where they can be challenged the most effectively. Stay silent, stay off of social media, do not try to explain yourself. Get a criminal defense lawyer involved as early as possible. I'm Joseph Reese, a criminal defense lawyer here in Houston, Texas, and if you or someone you know believes they may be under investigation, contact my office immediately. because the earlier we get involved, the more opportunities we may have to protect your future before formal charges are ever filed.